Good evening to members of the media. Tough game, very difficult game against a good opponent with very good players on the pitch. And but a good game of football. I like the performance a lot better than the performances of Cottonspur, Hilal also. So today I like the performance. It's just the differences. In Sudan we scored. Last match we scored 2, and today we just couldn't score. So, but I like the performance today, and it's football. You can't win them all. So we go again and we prepare for Swallows. We try to win the next one.
Thanks, Coach. Firstly, congratulations to yourself and the team.
Thank you, Tsapo.
On winning the league title. I think the youngest coach in the history of the PSL, the head coach.
Sure.
To win the league, you get 23 games, you get 15 games unbeaten. I mean, how does, besides today's game, but overall on the strides that the team as a collective made to retain the title for the 6th time in a row?
It's a collective effort. It's a lot of credit needs to go to everybody at the football club, from your ground staff to senior management and kitchen ladies, security personnel. We've got an incredible football club, and fortunately we've got an incredible group of supporters that galvanize and support us every day. We've got an incredible group of football players, and so it's a collective effort, and you've got to give a lot of credit to everybody that works very, very hard and tirelessly in the environment.
Coach, there were a few situations where...
Hello, Skipper.
Coach, how are you?
Fine, and you, sir?
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
There were a few situations where I think there could have been a goal. Peter chesting just next to the goal line, and then some touch from Shishi that puts him through. But I couldn't count shots that were going straight at goal.
17.
Not that they went any, but they were, it looked like the players would rather pass than actually take a shot at goal. What's that down to? And also there were these passes that were happening mostly on the deal, and I don't know what they call it. Is it the arc or what? Why is that when there's more chances to shoot than to actually do it?
I wish I knew, Skipper. I wish I really knew. You watch football, these things. Today I think in the final third we had a little bit of anxiety, and I don't know what happens, but that's why I can write it off very, very quickly, because it's unlike us. On another day, Cassius makes a better first touch and opens the body and takes a shot. Today he closes the body and looks for a combination. On another day, Mshishi opens the body and takes a shot instead of looking for... Neo makes better decision to not go to his right but come to his left in one of the situations. Peter has a better touch on the diagonal. So I can write this. It's football. This is what makes the game so interesting. You never know what to expect. So what we can control is the performance, is the schemes, and with us is very clear. Our build-up schemes are very clear, and today much safer, much more controlled, less errors. Mutiba was so good today also, and he's so important for us with the build-up. Debza was good. Sometimes we can find the diagonal pass a little bit more instead of finding the vertical pass from one half space to another. But we can find, for an example, Newa to Allende or Zeta to Allende. But listen, today I was happy with the performance, happy with the intensity, happy with the passing and the movement. And maybe it's also my fault, because when I analyze the games, I say you could have passed instead of taking a shot. How many times do you see us? We come to the final third, and sometimes instead of making a pass, we shoot. So maybe it's my fault also, because I encourage a little bit more of the extra pass and the extra pass. But okay, good. I was happy with the performance actually. And on another day, to be honest, we make better decisions. So very easy for me to write this off.
just an intro, the media entity also.
Sure.
Good evening, Coach.
Good evening, Carol.
This is probably going to just be a long question because I want to give you context.
Sure.
In regards to what you said a couple of weeks ago with 16-year-old Mokwena.
Yeah.
Coach, I had an opportunity, I think a blessing to Quaranos to watch give Rhulani to training for 3-4 years. On a Monday morning, he comes, trains with his left, Tuesday with his right,
Unbelievable.
Wednesday with both feet. Saturday scores against Fexi, and you said he reminds you of him. Can you just maybe take us extensively at what is it that you see in the 16-year-old Mokwena for you to confidently say that he reminds you of possibly one of the greatest talents this country has ever seen in Rhulani?
Is exactly what the context you give is the ability to go left side, right side, and at speed. And Mokwena has but you saw the clips. I mean the drop of the shoulder and then a dynamic change of direction. But that like this it's not a lot of players have that, and it's a small detail, but it's not a detail that's very, very easy to see. Watch the 2 assists he makes for us in the TDC. Yeah, look at even the ball he plays over the top. That 100%. But how he drops the shoulder to create space in here, and no, but bright future. We just have to be very careful. Not too much noise, man. I always say, I said it about Cassius, and I had to manage Cassius when he came back from Bafana, because the youngsters need a little bit. They need a little bit of protection. We are not a country that is known to produce world-class talent at a very young age, and there must be a reason for that. There must be a reason. It should not be, but we don't have the talent. There must be a reason why our players only reach a very good level of performance a little bit later. But football nations produce 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds that are ready to perform at this level, But why don't we do that? That should be our question. And sometimes we overhype. We see one good game and then all of a sudden, this one. No, a little bit. You've got to do this. How many years has Tembazwane been doing this? And so today you ask me more about Mokwena. You should be asking me about Mshishi. Do you know what I mean? You should be asking me about Peter. Peter's level of consistency for the last 4-5 years, from Highlands Park, Sundowns, the number of goals. Peter is on 98 goals. Why are we not talking about Peter? Why are we talking about Mokwena? We should not be speaking about Mokwena. Mokwena has not done enough to be part of this press conference. Quiet, and focus on the people that for many years have reached a very good level of performance. Otherwise, we kill these talents. We kill these talents by overhyping them, and then they think they've arrived all of a sudden, and then what happens is the curse of the rising star. The rising star is sounds cliche, but it's true. It's the curse of the rising star. You look at the star, and they say make a wish before it disappears. But it has to stay there, and real stars shine true and bright in the dark skies. It's not a and then all of a sudden, and we have to ask ourselves that question.
I was mad at on Twitter for saying, for cautioning that we must know why I'm Mamelodi, but I guess it's another story.
Well, you can use me as your shield, because and I'm not on Twitter anymore, so I tried, but use me as your shield because I'm the one that's advocating for that. I'm saying, easy does it. South Africa. I would have loved to see Cassius with the under-23s, not with Bafana. I would have loved to see Cassius with his age group going to Congo and helping the team to qualify. That's what I would have loved to see. But South Africa, man, our beloved country, guys, is let's easy. Let's talk. Let's talk about what's happening with where we're going, where are we, and what level has been set, and then we go. But It's very difficult. It's a very difficult topic. This it's an emotional topic because yeah.
Ernest from Pick of Coach. Coach, I've spoken to the Tendol coach, Vincent. He speaks highly of you, regard you as his role model.
I'm humble, thank you.
We have the young Maspepe there who's busy doing coaching.
Good guy.
But I'm done with my coaching life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
He speaks of you being the youngest coach to win the league. Any kind of message, coach, that you can send to those young upcoming coaches that want to be like Rhulani?
Sure. I'm not worthy. I'm really not worthy. I've got a lot more flaws than a lot of people think. I've got so many weaknesses. It's not funny. And all I can say to the people is just continue to work hard, believe in yourself, even when no one believes in you, and just keep refining, your craft, and keep believing in what you believe in, and eventually it will pay off. It's the same for coaches. It's the same what I say to you guys about the youngsters. I'm not worthy. There's a coach like Kevin Hunt who's done this for many, many, many years. I've still got to do this for many, many, many years, and then we can discuss about what advice can I give to the youngsters. I'm not worthy. I'm improving. I'm learning every single day. I watch football everywhere. I watch even in leagues that you don't even expect me to watch, because I want to learn. I want to improve. I want to get better. So I'm not worthy. I'm the last person you should be asking for advice. There are people in this league who have done. Eric Tinkler has done this for many, many years, and so he's the right type of guy to sit here and answer your question about what advice. So, yeah.
Coach,
Sure, no.
Coach, we are 14 days into the holy month of Ramadan, and I should think that you have some players in the team that are Islam.
Yep.
How is the training load different to them, because they're fasting and everything, and preparation for the games? How is it different to the rest of the team?
It's difficult. It's very, very difficult. We have strategies in place, and fortunately, we've got a little bit of experience having worked with these players already. So it's different in the context that Riyadh has different strategies because there's different family demands. There are some families that where the one part is Ramadan or Muslim, and the other part is not. So it's very complicated. But it's the work that the medical staff does. We as the coaches do. We monitor the training load. We try to give them a lot of moments in between where we know they have to break the fast. There's different periods where they have to pray. I was talking to Hashim Domingo. Hesh has lost so much weight, it's not even funny. And I say to him, what can we do? There's supplements, but good, the players support each other. You see Peter supporting and carrying the lunch boxes, because they've got to eat at a specific time while we are already here. And fortunately as well, we don't have too many. We've just got one in the technical team with GV, one in the administrative team with Khalid, and then we've got 3 players. But yeah, we've got to support them, and give them as much help. You see it. It's not a new phenomenon. You see it yesterday in the Tottenham-Everton game. You see it in the Serie A, where there was one player that had to fake an injury so that his teammate could get a banana. These are some of the things that happen. But all in all, what's important is to give them as much support as we can. There's a bit of science now because it's happened for quite some time. There's some science that is done with the research that's been done. So we try to ask, especially some of our European counterparts, for strategies and see how best we can help. And that's what we try to do.
We'll take the last 2 questions, then move into the Soros game.
Sure, Smo.
The perception is that this has been an easy league win, but of course you've gone through your own trials. I think the gap on the log gives that perception between 1 and 2. But talk us through what you've had to navigate with the coaching changes, which they had to rearrange for you to be the sole man in charge, but also some player disciplinary issues and the Jali contractual situation that you had to navigate to maintain a PSL winning charge as well as your CAF Champions League life.
Yeah, top question, but I don't know how many minutes you have. It's got so many intricacies and so much detail. Maybe we should park that for the end of the season. It's a top question, but I would like to answer it at the end of the season.
So we can allow an additional question after you then, Kens.
Okay. Congratulations on the victory today.
Sure, come.
Kamapela from Soccer Laduma. You spoke about wanting to see Cassius play with the under-23s. With Sundowns having so many players to the Bafana setups at the different age groups and particularly the senior team, are these conversations that you have with Hugo Bros, do you guys come together and discuss potentially about, I know it's his setup and his camp, but for the sake of the cohesion of both of your sides, are these maybe conversations you guys have?
No. I just respect his space, so he knows that if he needs to speak to me about anything, I'm available. I try to support the national team as much as I can by watching the performances of the players. After the performance in Orlando, you can ask the players. I gave feedback about the performance individually. Also tried to help with the motivation to make sure that they are at a very good level to go to Libya and win. But that's as much as I can do, and I do the best that I can with a little bit of influence that I have, and I don't want to go too much into his space because I know what it's like to be a coach. I know how lonely the job is a very lonely profession. This it's a profession that is very difficult to be in the good moments, there's a lot. In the very bad moments, you are alone with your thoughts, with your decisions, with the results, and it's a silent killer, this job. It is a silent killer, this job. It's just so appropriate. It really is very. Owen Hargreaves said to me during. It's so true. Owen he's got so much, and he was coached by some of the best coaches in the world. And I said to him, but why do you not coach? Because you've got so much detail. And he said, because this job just demands and takes so much from you, your social life, your health, your finances, that's what he said to me. He said, I can't do this thing. And he has huge admiration for people that do it at this level. And I tell you honestly, it really is a difficult profession. But it's a profession that comes with its benefits, but also comes with a lot of other things that a lot of people don't know. You are not look around the world, and honestly, just a few months ago, Conte was in hospital for a surgery with his health, and how many coaches have you now heard have had to go under the knife? And not necessarily because of the profession itself, but also because society is changing and the diet and the pressures of this. So it's such a difficult job, it's not even funny.
I appreciate the issues.
Sure, kids.
Personally, I enjoyed the tactical approach by Cape Town City. So my question to you and I last week learned about that spot, and I felt like they closed your sweet spots more than they brought their own game. So I feel like Coach Eric, in a way, forced your hand to not allow you to play, but force Sundowns to subsume into what he wanted to do. As a coach, obviously sometimes when you win, you have so many other things that you look at. But when you don't win a game like this, and you said today's performance was good, do you enjoy like these type of challenges to say, how do I better put my game plan against it?
Yeah, the very seldom do we finish a game as Sundowns with substitutions in the pocket. We had one more stoppage and we had 2 subs, and we didn't make those. And that should give you reasons. Sometimes substitutions ruin things. No, seriously, because the intensity and the tempo. This was a very good Cape Town City side with very good players on the pitch and big threats on counter-attack, big threats. But how we dealt with the counter-attacks today was actually the best I've seen probably this season, apart from maybe the Pirates games. But really, this performance, the compactness, the ability to be very aggressive with the safety net. We call it the safety net, which is the first line of rest defense and the second line of coverage on the rest defense. And Toby and Grant were very important for us on that, and then Modiba is important on that, and then you have possibilities of Debza or maybe even an Allende in that space to assist. But look, I can't talk about the opposition tactics. I can just talk about the personality of the team, and I liked the personality of the team today. I liked how the speed at which we moved the ball. I liked the different dynamics. I liked we went to the side. If we couldn't get in, we went into the half space. When we tried, we looked for the ball over the top several moments. We looked for the ball into the 10 at several moments. So I like the different ways we tried to break down the block. And it's not easy. And immediately, first 5 minutes already, Allende looks at me and he shouts, "Coach, it's a back 5. But it wasn't necessarily a back 5. It was just a back 3 that was a 2.5 with Mark van Heerden. But Gonzalez's athleticism and work ethic helped them a little bit to allow Mark to be a little bit narrow. And then because Mark could be narrow, you could have Mark, you could have Phyllis, and then you could have Cupido, who managed the half spaces. And then that allowed Mokeke to jump out and to put a bit of pressure, and it allowed Notata to jump out. We did that very, very well when we invited them to press Modiba and Tebza, which is our first line of build-up. And then we could find the space behind and win the back of the midfield. But as I said, we were too anxious in those moments. We're not a team that is really used to having a lot of space in that. So then they reinforced a little bit. Then they took out the striker and they went for a midfield 3. And then they had an extra number. So it made it more important for us to go wider and use Sailor a little bit more. But then from using Sailor, we couldn't make the second run through the center half and the fullback because they had an extra center half. So even if you pulled one center half out, you couldn't get the space in. So it was very difficult. But then you go there, and then it's important to come very aggressively inside. And we tried to do that today, but as I said, we had a bit of anxiety, and you can write it off because it's a performance that was good, but it's just a performance that lacked a precision and efficiency in the final third. What I like is the clean sheet is back. We've been struggling for clean sheets and we've been speaking about it a lot. So the clean sheet was back against a difficult side with very Zapata aggressive with the space behind, Gonzalez speed, aggression, Mayo speed, aggression, unpredictability, left foot that goes outside and inside. You saw first half that situation where he dropped the shoulder and he came in with Grant, and then he tried it in the second half, and Grant knew that he had to close the left foot more aggressively, and he did exceptionally well. So very proud of the players, proud of the performance. And I think it was Ateta that said it, but I love this group also more today than in a lot of other matches where we've won.
Okay,
Coach, you've said that, and I think many times you have refused to take, I think, credit for a whole lot of what happens. I think today, 21 games, Mr. Mbahlele, for the coach, unbeaten.
Sure.
Since you took over, and then you've got these numbers of in 2023 Peter Shalulile with your Osimhen and Haaland, and then you've got the points tally for the gaps that you've got, which is 20 points. I'm getting to a point where I'm asking you about you, that the reluctance or the refusal to take this credit, does it come from the fact that for too long you've been called so many things, chastised in this country about what happened, the Pirates, cheaper and so on? Does it come from that you don't want to get used to this thing that I could be this good, but people are still saying that this guy is not good? Or is it just you, again, just trying to put yourself down and say, let me work harder? And if you were to end by the end of this season, would you not be happy with what you have done?
Sure. Yeah. No. I try to be as honest as I can. Always when I'm here, I try. Not always succeed, but I try. The game of football is such a strange game, The same way I never defended, and believe you me, I can defend myself for the results at Pirates. Well, I can, but I never did. People talk about Chipper being a failure. I laugh at those things. Pirates being a failure. I laugh at those things, but I can laugh because I've got facts. But people there's a certain narrative people want to drive. So I've got to allow people to drive that narrative. But if I allow you to drive a narrative in the bad moments, I should allow you to drive the narrative in the good moments. And so my refraining from getting too much into that space is because part to what I believe in is that the game of football is a team sport. One. Two, I believe the game of football belongs to the players. And I stay true to that. We as coaches, our job is to support, is to give some form of preparation and assistance to the players and try to help them with the performances. And I genuinely believe this. But maybe people will think but anyway, it's okay. We move. It's a difficult one to answer, Skepe, because rather not. I rather not go in there because it's a very difficult country, South Africa. It's a very difficult country. But I guess and I've used this quote before that what is it? A prophet will never be appreciated. It will never be celebrated at home. A prophet will never be celebrated at home, and I've accepted that. That's why when people send me things, I'm not surprised that a lot of the write-ups about this team and about the coaching and the detail actually comes from Europe and is from foreign people than it is from South Africa. So why should I go into that space? It's not for me.
Honey with a knife, coach.
Honey with a knife, yeah.
You can phrase the Solo's question for us, Carol.
Sure. Could finish.
No, I think I'd rather pass it to someone else.
It's a gorgeous finish.
Just looking at Dindi. Just looking at the Solo's game, you have a question?
I never had a question, but I'll ask. Coach,
sure.
You're going to Swallows, they're a team that's still fighting at the bottom. They've also had a bit of changes on the technical team with Coach Morgan coming in. What
What have you seen from them with those changes, and what are your expectations?
Honestly, I haven't started. I go game by game. There's so much work to be done. This team Cape Town City kept me after our last performance of Cotton Sport. You have to watch Sekhukhune versus Cape Town City. Then you have to watch Cape Town City versus Magaliesburg. And it's tough. It's not easy. So and then you have to watch our game against Cotton Sport. You've got to do corrections. You've got to sit with the player. Today we spent 2.5 hours in the morning on corrections. I will start tonight on Swallows. But for the players is come tomorrow. We will check why we didn't score. So we'll have clips already for the players, and we'll see how we can improve that. And then it's recovery, good sleep, lots of water, and then the preparations for Swallows. So it's a team that I expect to give it their all, to fight. They're in a very difficult position, but also I'm proud of Musa Nyatama. He's someone I hold in very high regard as a former football player and as a human being. So I've got to give it the respect that it deserves, and it's also a club that I like. By the way, it's a club that is from Soweto, where I was born. So it's one of the clubs that I have one of the clubs that I have a soft spot for. Not as soft as Sundowns, but it's one of the clubs that I have a soft spot for.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.